Bonsoir, je m'appelle Vinay Pai. Je suis responsable de plateforme et les produits de software dans le cloud chez Intuit. I will talk a little bit about Intuit's journey. So I've been in Intuit the last 7 years. And I was at a startup like you guys. I was at a startup called PayCycle. We made online payroll for small business in the US. And in 2009, Intuit acquired us. We were based in Palo Alto. We were 100 people. But before that, I was at a previous cloud computing startup. We built private cloud. So in 2009 and Intuit, we saw a big shift from desktop to the cloud. We started as a company 30 years ago making Quicken. We have some French developers here who are actually leading the development team for Quicken back in 1995. So in 2009, we decided to really lean into the cloud because we saw behavior changing with consumers in the United States. The web, was big. You had Web 2.0, and then people were already doing banking online. They had their credit cards online. They started booking travel online. And so what we saw is, even on our customer base, we had QuickBooks, which is a financial accounting software. What we did is we had 3 million users on desktop, and at that time we had 100,000, 200,000 users on the cloud. Today we have 1.2 million customers, small businesses on the cloud. Out of that 1.2 million, 200,000 are outside the U.S. We're in France. We launched in France. We have a product in the UK. We're in Brazil. We're in Australia, also Canada, and 80 other countries. So our product is in 12 languages. It's multi-currency. It supports TVA. France is très compliqué, but it works finally in France. But if we look at customer behavior, in 2014, we saw 37% of small businesses in the cloud. If we look forward to 2020, there will be almost 80% of businesses on the cloud. And this behavior is actually growing pretty rapidly. So in the US, we're growing 40% year over year in the cloud. And outside of the US, we're doubling every year. So the 200,000 customers we have outside the US, 3 years ago when we launched globally, we had almost none. And that growth is all organic. And we're looking for ways to actually grow even faster. So that's why we've been launching the France product. And we have a local team here. So Noor, who you'll meet, has been working in the US, but he moved to France like 2 years ago? 2 years ago. So, and we have a local engineering team here as well. So if we look at our cloud applications, small business is very different from tax. So if you do your income tax, you file your tax once a year, and then you're usually done. But if you're a small business, you're using multiple applications, en français add-ons, to run your business. You have accounting software, you have payroll, you have maybe time tracking, you have some other apps like for your industry. If you're running like a bakery, or if you're running a plumbing service, you have other applications. And what we see are, small businesses on average have like 3 applications they use. But that number is also going to increase. So we expect, over the next 5 years to grow to almost 8 applications, per business. And in Intuit, we're a pretty big company. We have 8,000 employees, 4,000 in engineering. But even with a company that big, we can't build all our own products. We can't build every feature. And so application developers, companies like yours actually play a critical role. You actually help fill out different gaps in our product portfolio. You also help make the application more local. So customers in France need other features, and that's where you guys come in. And one thing that as a company 5 years ago we decided to do is create an open platform. There's actually no fee to join. We have an app store, just like the iPhone. Noor will show you some more about the App Store. Joanne Peach will actually show you a little bit about our strategy. So, this is our high-level strategy. So I talked about businesses having multiple applications. So what we want to do is create an open platform. We have our own APIs that you can use, and you can actually read all of the data, from our applications. You can also write your data into the applications. So when we started 5 years ago, we created a service API. They're microservices. Over the years, we're making it more comprehensive. We have our next generation API we're using. The front end of our products uses that API, so everything that we do internally, third-party developers will be able to access. 5 years ago, we were more server-side Java. We've now moved to still server-side Java and database, but we're moving to Cassandra. We have Node. All of our UI is in JavaScript. Everything is internationalized, fully localized, and we're moving to responsive. But all of those services are an open platform that anyone can access. Though I mentioned earlier that small businesses use multiple apps, we want those apps to actually integrate together. Just like Microsoft has, Outlook, they have Word, they have Excel, they have PowerPoint. You can copy and paste data from one app to the other. You can copy a Word document, put it in your email. We want that same experience with our applications. And so any app you write can integrate seamlessly with us, both in the user experience and the data. And then finally, global is actually a very important strategy for us. Intuit is still primarily an American company, but we actually have offices in Paris, we're in London, we're in Sydney. What we're trying to do is become a fully global company. The idea is we want 20% of our revenue to come from outside the US, but when we come to a country like France, there are going to be many products that actually work with QuickBooks and integrate together. And then all of this is about delivering a very personalized experience for developers. So that's the overall strategy. And we talk about accountants, we talk about developers. They're very key partners that we work with. Here locally, we have a team of engineers, we have product management, we have developer relations, we actually have biz dev folks. So we can work to actually create this ecosystem around QuickBooks. So let me introduce Joanne Peche. So Jo, come on up here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the strategy.
I'm going to go through just an overview of our APIs, some of our developer tools, and I'm also going to do it, like Vinay said, in the voice of Beyonce. I wanted to get some inspiration from her, and so I'm going to be using quotes to go through this presentation. So, power is not given to you, you have to take it. But you don't have to take it from us, we're actually giving developers the power. So through these powerful APIs that we have for the QuickBooks Online platform, you're able to integrate with QuickBooks. And like Vinay said, QuickBooks really has 1 million users worldwide. And so this is an interesting time for app developers and folks who have solutions for small businesses, simply because you could have a solution that works here in France, and by integrating into our platform and testing it in different regions, you can go global very, very quickly. One example of this is T-Sheets. T-Sheets is one of our apps on apps.com. We actually own apps.com, which is always a mind blower for me. Apps.com, come on. Noor will kind of give you a little bit more overview of our fantastic apps marketplace. But T-Sheets is actually from Australia. They have integrated onto the QuickBooks platform. They solve timesheets problems for small businesses. So if your employees have their time, they can quickly go into QuickBooks, and the business owner can quickly do payroll much quicker than manual input. So that's the power that we give to you. Thank you, Beyonce. Who run the world? Devs. So we really, really care about our developers. We have our own our developer relations team who are there to answer questions. We are out in the community helping with your code, helping to integrate. I sleep only 2 hours a night. If you email me, if you text me, if you holler at me through Twitter, I will answer you. But what we really want, like I said, is to help you guys go global. And so we have a global sandbox that for the UK, Australia, Canada, India, and the United States, and I guess France is coming soon. So you can test your app in any of these regions, and you can see how it works with those places. And because this is a developer-focused thing, you know that I'm going to insert a nerd reference here. We really want to give you guys the right tools. We want to be your player too. So what we have are sample apps. We have SDKs for .NET, Java, PHP, and more are coming. We have an API Explorer for you to really delve deep into our APIs and help you get in there and start coding in integrating. We have a Harmony design system so we can help you with your UI and we can help you with that. We have some great documentations and we're constantly reviewing them and renewing them and getting your feedback and making sure that our documentation will help you through the process. We just launched last year a developer hub. And the developer hub really encompasses all of the current news, all of the current tips and tricks. We have a training module there. We are planning on ways to help you teach your crew how to market your own app so you can really get some grind and really take off. We're going to be launching a global contest early next month. So stay tuned on our developer blog, which is hooked onto the developer hub. You could win a place at our global annual conference in San Jose, California, the sunny San Jose, California, and also a chance at $100,000. If you integrate, you launch on apps.com, you have a chance to win $100,000 to change your life. I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. Well, actually, I am very, very bossy, but I saw that, Noor. But you are the boss. So what we want to hear from you, I work from the developer relations team. I do marketing, but I'm this weird hybrid that I also know how to code. But we love to talk to developers. We love to talk to entrepreneurs to see what you guys need, what you guys want in order to really get you up and going and integrating into our platform. And I'm going to hand it off to Noor. And he'll walk you through the App Store.
Yes. So we have more than 350 applications published on our App Store. We're not going to be starting with hundreds of applications in France. Our strategy is to go with few ones. When you think about the French market, we got requests to support payment applications. I would say what we call GED en français, the document management, being able to support applications that can scan bills, expenses, and push them into QuickBooks, or things where you can go, when you go to the restaurant, you can take a picture of your expense, and the expense is automatically submitted to your QuickBooks, the receipt bank model. So, and there are a couple of, I would say, startups or companies that have started the integration with us and that we are trying to showcase and that we're going to launch in June, July, in France. So please take a look at the API, and we would be super happy to work with you and see how we could add you to the ecosystem. Okay, so couple of things, the App Store, it's a great way to get your application known. We get around 700,000 unique visitors per month on the App Store. So a bunch of applications started over there. We have stories about some application we've launched in the US. We got, I would say, a few thousand donations in a few weeks because it's a great way to discover your application. So we welcome you to look at the API and develop on our platform. Thank you.
Do you plan to go to Asia, like China, or?
Yes, so we do have some customers in China and Japan, Malaysia, Philippines. We have a version of the product called Rest of the World where it can work anywhere. Well, so I mean, we have France, we have Rest of the World, but we do have customers there, and we do support Mandarin and Cantonese and Japanese in the product as a language.
When a company buys an add-on, how is made the payment?
Oh, for buying like QuickBooks? So when you sign up for QuickBooks, you can pay by credit card. It's a monthly subscription, either I think in France 10 euros per month to 20 euros per month on the SKU.
15 to 35.
Oh, 15 to 35. But it's a monthly subscription. We also have an annual fee. But you, as an app, you can set up any kind of model for your app.
Yes. But how would they pay for the apps?
Oh, so in the actually in the App Store, how do we do billing? It's the app.
So we let the customer pay the partner directly. We don't serve as intermediary between your application and the customer. So the customer will be signing up for your application and pay you directly.
What would be the best piece of advice you could give to the developers here that want to maybe onboard their app?
So I've been working with developers, in France, UK, US, Australia, and things like that. And it's really not to try to, I would say, rush it. Try to understand how you add value to the ecosystem. Understand, the customer at the end. And when you spend time and do some usability studies, talk to customers, and say, okay, what if I build something like that? Will you be interested? You usually have a better outcome. So that's really, don't lose sight of your customers. That's the most important, to be honest with you. And the build itself, if you're using any of the dev kits, PHP, Java, .NET, it's quite easy to build on our platform. You are going to go through what we call a tech review, security review. And it's not because we pretend to be better than you. It's just, we are a big company and we want to make sure at the end of the day we have a common pattern, and also we ensure that the data of our customers is not at risk, and we work with you on that. But
when you develop an app for a country, are we able to discuss with future customer in a beta program, for example? Can you present us some customer to integrate that? And after, is it possible to have also a view from people who understand the way in a country that people work? From Intuit, for example, if we build an app in France, to say, is that really running in the US, or just discuss in terms of the way of people are working there?
Yeah, great question. First of all, the APIs that we have, as we mentioned, are global enabled. When you create an integration for UK, for example, it's 90% ready to go in US, in other regions. The only thing that you have to worry about is the global tax model, because it's not the same VAT versus GST versus US sales tax. And usually we also have partner managers that work with partners and can find the right customers in each country to work with you on that. So where's Fabrizio? Fabrizio is over there. He's our head of business and partner management for Europe, and he's been working with partners to help them solve that.
And then just one thing we can also do is we have a beta program. So if you have an app that is available in multiple countries, we can help you find beta customers in those countries. And then with the BizDev, with Fabrizio and team, we can also look at, is your app, how would, we can give feedback on a country. We also have local teams there, so we can give some advice and we can review the app. So we have this app submission process that involves both a technical review and a security review. We actually do a security review for you, and then we're also looking at ways to provide more experience feedback.
Hi, I'd stand up, but I have too much stuff I'm sitting with, so I'll just ask. I just have two quick questions. The first is, does an app integration go both ways? I mean, can I access customer data from my website in order for them to directly use my website using the app? I think it goes the other way around, that people can actually, QuickBooks customers can use my app on your site. Does it go both ways, or just?
Yeah, let me start, and if you want to add. Yes. So we have two types of integrations. So say your app wants to get data from QuickBooks, you can call our APIs. Once you single sign on to QuickBooks, you can get the data and not show any of our experience. Now we also have, if your app can activate inside of QuickBooks, we have a plugin architecture, and we can give you a frame, and we can give you insert into the navigation, so your app looks just like it came from us. We have common style guides. We're also going to release some widgets that you can use. But the idea is, you can choose how you want to integrate, either as a standalone or like deep in the experience.
Yeah, I think Vinay has covered most of it. If you look at our website, the developer.intuit.com, you will see only APIs to access the data. But we have another set of APIs, which are the widgets that we can work on, case basis with some of the partners, and where you can develop within our iframe. We have some examples we can show you if you want to stay after.
Okay, thanks. And my second question was, are there really, I mean, it's surprising to me, are there customers that take a subscription on QuickBooks and then use an app that they didn't know about and take a subscription there? I mean, it's double payment, it's annoying. Do people really do that?
So the answer is yes. Out of that 1 million customers in the US, we have 15% that purchase apps. And actually, our average customer has more than one app. When they have an app, it's like 1.2 apps. We have some customers that have 2 or 3, and some of these apps are actually more expensive than QuickBooks. So depending on the industry and the customer they're serving, a small business might pay $20 for QuickBooks. They pay $30 for payroll. They might T-Sheets is actually $25 a month plus $5 per employee. So we have customers that buy apps on top of QuickBooks. They discover it through the App Store in product. And then we also, for apps where we have data that shows which apps are trending and what other customers are using, we also have a recommendation engine. So if we know you're a certain type of business, we can match you up against apps that are relevant.
The way I think about it is just your iPhone. So many of us have paid application, and we pay for the iPhone, or you pay for your I would say phone bill. It's the same. So when they see there is a need, they are going to pay for QuickBooks subscription on a monthly basis. But they need more than just accounting and to run their business. They need that payment solution. They need that payroll solution, and they're willing to invest.
Hi, I have a question. Thanks for being here. A business-related question. How do a big company like Intuit address a business like France, and what are your objectives, like next steps for conquering the French market? On what will you be focusing right now?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So what we want to do is create a network effect. So part of the reason I have an iPhone is I like the apps that are on it. I spend more on this than an Android device. I spend more for the data connection because I like the App Store. Now, if you're an app developer, you want to actually release an app to a platform that has a lot of customers, because ultimately you want to make money writing your app, and you're going to find a channel for that app. And we would like to be that channel for the app on QuickBooks. And it's really a two-sided network effect. So if you look at, okay, I won't pick, like say Facebook. If you don't have any friends on there, you're not going to connect. But as you have more friends participate, it creates a network effect. As you have more apps actually integrate to Facebook, more people will spend time on Facebook. And then that network effect makes everyone happy. App developers have a way to integrate. Users on Facebook have a way to stay engaged. And it's the same model on QuickBooks. We're a SaaS app. Customers they need accounting. They want to pay their employees. In France, we're going to partner for that. We don't have local payments yet, so we're actually partnering for that. In the UK, we just released direct debit through Go Cardless. Go Cardless is actually working on taking that same app to France, and we're happy for them to do that, because without payment options, people don't buy QuickBooks. When you have a payment option, they buy a QuickBooks subscription. They also buy your app subscription, so we're both happy.
Do you provide the SEO services?
Okay.
Software in general?
So we do have, so that apps.com, we do both paid search and SEO to drive traffic to apps.com. We also have that same app store in product. So basically we have, like 1.2 million customers. On any given day, 200,000 log in. So we actually measure traffic on apps.com externally as well as in product. And the in-product app store gets about 10 times more traffic. And then we can also help you with your marketing campaigns. So once you sign up for the partner program, you'll actually get our partner newsletter. We actually help you on the developer side, on the APIs, but then we also help you on marketing. And as you start getting more traffic to your app, we'll actually increase our marketing support for app developers. So
through apps.com, you told that you help to track it, how many traffic is coming and all that. So if we want to improve, how can we improve?
Oh, so there are two things. One is, you can have your own external landing page, which you can do your own SEO on. But then in apps.com, we actually drive traffic to that. So we do two things. So apps.com is linked from our Intuit pages. So when people do paid search, they come to intuit.com. They can learn about QuickBooks. We actually show the apps.com and the benefits of the ecosystem. So we're driving traffic to apps.com, and you don't have to worry about that. You can do SEO to your own marketing pages.
Intuit is a very big company. However, I guess you have a focus on some field. So I'm wondering if there's a field or fields on which you focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
So from the applications, I guess most of us develop applications. Do you focus on a certain field of applications? I don't know, medical, industry, or something like that. And which ones?
Yeah, in fact, that's a great question. So what we try to do is be very good at accounting. So the general ledger, chart of accounts,
Accountability.
Okay, so the accounting and payroll and payments, in the US, we have all of those applications. Outside of the US, we don't have our own payments, and money movement. So that's something we actively are looking for partners, for local payments. In France, we're not going to build our own payroll offering right now. Now, for industry verticals, we actually don't build anything industry specific. We actually look for app developers for those industries. So for example, e-commerce, we partner and integrate with Shopify. We actually integrate with other e-commerce vendors for product-based businesses. We don't do anything in like medical or retail or hospitality. We actually want app developers to integrate, and we'll provide the basic accounting system for that. So, especially in different countries, we don't have the expertise to build all those verticals, and that's where we need the app developers, you guys, to build those applications.
What is the best application in the US or in Europe, and what is the case success of to build a very successful app, and at what price also you recommend to do?
Yeah, so we have integrations with American Express, PayPal, and Square in the US. So Square is interesting because it's a competitor to us. We have our own payments offering in the US, and we're okay with that. And we actually integrate with PayPal. We have our own payments offering. When I said we're building an open platform, that actually includes our competition. We're fine with that. So looking at those three applications combined, there are over 100,000 users, customers using those. The American Express application is free. If you have an American Express card, it actually integrates into the product. And what we look at is, solve a customer problem. They want their data to flow automatically into QuickBooks, do a great experience. So we measure Net Promoter. That has like a 35 Net Promoter. So customers using that actually are happier with QuickBooks. And there's high active usage. So there's like 80% active usage. Now, we actually have some other startups. We talked about T-Sheets. We have like Bill.com. There's a company in Israel called Funbox. And what they do is financing for invoices. So if you want to get a loan, they actually will finance the invoices in QuickBooks. We're actually driving 80% of their business to them because it's a customer need. They have a great product, and they integrate into QuickBooks. So there are cases where we have developers that are growing their business very nicely by integrating to QuickBooks.
Just would like to add one thing on that. We have also examples with payroll application in the UK, where before the integration they had, I would say, less than 1,000 customers. After the integration, in a few months, they grew to 7,000, 8,000. So we are making, I would say, 90% of the traffic. And
thank you for coming. I think we're going to be around and.
Que la famille.